Hello and welcome back to Medium Rare. My name is Rag Reynolds and today we have 4 stories to talk about. So the first thing we're talking about today is something very much amusing, something that you should also not try at home, and that is about this TikTok user who got a harmonica stuck in her mouth. That is correct. This TikTok user, Molly O'Brien, got an entire harmonica in her mouth. Now, I don't know why she thought it would be a good idea to put a harmonica in her mouth, but it amuses me. What's even more amusing is that every time she was breathing, she was making music. You can see some images from her video here on screen. You can see her mouth is lodged with this harmonica. I'm not going to play the video because it has some music over it and YouTube will not like that. I just find it amazing that this girl got the harmonica stuck in her mouth and instead of panicking, instead of seeking help to get it dislodged, she actually took out her phone and made a TikTok video. Like, that is some serious dedication. That's impressive. I'm not sure I would have had the will or the heart to go through with that. I would have been worrying about my mouth, my jaw, my teeth or whatever, and I'd have been trying to get help to get the harmonica out of my mouth. However, at the same time, I've got a big mouth, and I'd probably fit 2 harmonicas in there before there was anything even starting to get stuck. I feel like this is one of those moments where people would say no homo, but I'm not going to do that. In an interview with BuzzFeed, Molly O'Brien said that she did visit the hospital after her video, who referred her to a dentist. Thankfully, there was no damage done, but the dentist had an important message for O'Brien. He said, "Let's not do this again, okay, dear?" O'Brien said her mom wasn't mad, but she was shocked she raised such a weird kid. And that's it for that story, so I found that amusing. Let me know what you think in those comments down below. And now it is time for us to talk about the dreaded coronavirus yet again. Since we last spoke about the Wuhan coronavirus on this channel, we've seen the WHO chief say that coronavirus has escalated to an unprecedented outbreak. The US then raised the travel advisory for China to a level 4, advising that no one travel to China. And we also saw Indonesia lobby to have students sent home from Wuhan. On arrival, they were sprayed with disinfectant and now will be kept in isolation for 14 days before returning to their families. As of now, the virus has also overtaken SARS in terms of both infection numbers and also deaths, and that's a big point to make here because a lot of people had been comparing this virus, the coronavirus, to SARS, saying it's not going to be a big deal, let's lessen it down, let's not be too worried, it's just going to be like SARS. But now both infections and deaths are higher for coronavirus than they ever were for SARS. We've also seen China finish construction on their new hospital in a matter of only 10 days. The Chinese built this hospital, a 1,000 bed hospital, in only 10 days. Then, my God, that is impressive. That hospital is set to open today. By the time this video is up, it should probably be open. Although there have been some people who have got serious concerns and doubts about what this hospital's purpose really is. We've also seen the Chinese government accuse the United States of causing panic and spreading fear in a response to them shutting down all travel to China. In a news briefing on Monday, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said that the US actions could only create and spread fear instead of offering assistance. She said that the US was the first country to impose a travel ban on Chinese travelers and the first to suggest a partial withdrawal of its embassy staff. It is precisely developed countries like the US with strong epidemic prevention capabilities that have taken a lead in imposing excessive restrictions contrary to the WHO recommendations. As far as my opinion on all that, I don't think the US is really making a bad decision by blocking China travel and by saying don't go there. I think that's just maybe a little bit sensible if you ask me. Yes, it can also be causing panic, it can be causing distress, that is very true. But I would much rather people were a little bit panicked and aware of what was going on than just blindly going into danger areas where they may potentially get infected. But hey, that's just me. Let me know what you think about this in those comments down below. And the next thing we're talking about today is Bashurverse. Now, Bashurverse is a YouTuber. He was a Minecraft YouTuber years ago. He had millions of subs, mainly kids in his audience. He had a lot of drama back in the day. There were a bunch of allegations against him. There was a whole falling out with his girlfriend. There was a lot going on back then, and eventually Bashur had a whole breakdown on camera and eventually left YouTube. Fast forward to recently, and he has actually come back under a new name, Toasty Time. However, just in the last 24 hours, Bashur has posted some very concerning tweets onto his Twitter account. It's obvious my career is dead. I've lost my life, I've lost my wife, I've lost everything. I thought I could recover from the slander that had happened to me years ago, but honestly, it's too much. My wife was my rock. I have no reason to be here anymore. Leaving this world I never asked to be in to begin with, I will leave you with this. The world needs dreamers and the world needs doers. But above all, the world needs dreamers who do. I hope there's something more after this life. I had a feeling I wouldn't make it that far. Now, obviously, these tweets are very, very concerning, and most people seem to think that these tweets allude to Bashur maybe wanting to end his own life, maybe actually going to do something. And since he posted these tweets, he has not made any more statements on social media or anywhere else. No one else seems to have really heard from him. However, at the time of recording this video, I have seen Pescatori on Twitter saying, I have some unconfirmed info on Bashur. According to this person, they took it upon themselves to call for a wellness check on Bashur after he tweeted messages saying he was going to commit suicide. Allegedly, the police have taken him to the hospital. Followed up saying, I must stress this info has not been confirmed by me or anyone else on my team. The person that sent me this info also showed me where they called the police. This info combined with the tweets is all I have at the moment, but we will try to update when more info is available. So at the moment when I'm recording this is all of the information we have at the moment. Obviously Pescatori here, he has some sort of source. He has someone who has contacted him saying, I've called the police. I know the police have taken him to the hospital. So if that is true, if that happens to be the case, that's great. It means that Bashur is okay. Bashur is still alive, and that is a great thing. But again, just to re-emphasize what was said in these tweets from Pescatori, we really do not know if this is accurate information or not. At the moment, the only confirmed information we have are the tweets that came from Bashur himself, the things he actually said in those tweets. And to me and to a lot of other people, that just signifies that he was planning or at least thinking about ending his own life. Anyway, if there are any further updates to this situation, I will be sure to update in my next video. But until then, let me know what you think about this in those comments down below. And our final story for today, ladies and gentlemen, is about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So back in 2016, Amber Heard had filed domestic abuse charges against her then husband, Johnny Depp. She alleged that Johnny Depp had hit her. She showed her face with a mark on it as proof, and she also said that Johnny would often lose his temper, and when he did, he would be verbally and also physically abusive towards her. But then just last year, after being silent on this issue for so long, Johnny Depp came out with a $50 million defamation case against his now ex-wife, Amber Heard. Johnny laid out a case and presented evidence that the abuse in the relationship was actually coming from Amber Heard against him and not the other way around as she had previously claimed. Depp accused Heard of abuse in many instances and even alleged that there was one instance where his fingertip was severed after Heard threw a bottle of vodka at him. Amber Heard responded to that accusation by saying that Johnny had actually done this to himself. He had punched a hole in a wall and that's how his finger got severed, but she later changed her story, saying that it was actually because he was angry and lost his temper and smashed up a plastic phone. But anyway, the reason we're talking about this now is because the Daily Mail has recently just obtained several audio recordings of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp from 2015, and in these recordings, you can actually hear Amber Heard admitting to physically hitting and abusing Johnny Depp. Have a listen to some of this.
After you fucking got physically violent with me, I texted Travis. I said, come up here, because I didn't want anything to happen.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's coming to what? Save me?
No, go ahead. Continue. You. Travis to the rescue.
No, that was the last one. You can go, you go.
You're telling me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the fucking thing. And you
figured
in
it
the
out.
face. And you said, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I watched you lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights have been around a long time. I know. Yeah,
no, when you fucking have a closed fist.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your toes?
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
That's the difference between me
toes.
and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start
You
physical
are
fights?
such a baby!
Because
Grow the fuck up,
Because you
Johnny.
start physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get the fuck out.
As far as my thoughts on all of this, obviously I think this is absolutely atrocious behavior. Atrocious from Amber Heard. This is disgusting stuff. And honestly, I am just so glad that this is all coming to light for Johnny, because he's had a lot of backlash from the public in the past, from people accusing him of being the abuser and all the rest of it. All the while, she has been the one who's been hitting this man. I think it's very good and it's very important that we have this conversation, that we focus on this, because this isn't something we talk about very often. You hear all the time about cases of men when they abuse their partners or sexual assault from men to the women, but it's very, very rare that you ever have such a big case where people are actually talking about when it's the women who are actually abusing the men, because that happens a lot more often than you would maybe think. There are many reasons as to why that I'm not even going to start getting into, but it is very clear in our society, in our culture, that abuse against men is not always looked at the same as when a man turns around and hits his wife, and they don't get treated often with the same severity. So it is very, very good, and it very, very much pleases me that we are having a good conversation about this right now. I've not seen a single example so far of anyone defending Amber Heard here. They've all been pretty much on Johnny Depp's side from as far as I can see. I mean, maybe they are out there, maybe the detractors are out there saying that Johnny deserved it or whatever. I don't know, I've not looked into it enough to see that, but from the brief look I've had into this situation, I am pleased with the discourse that I have been seeing. Anyway, that's just my take on all this. Be sure to let me know what you think in those comments down below. And that is where I'm going to end today's video. Now, I might be back with another video tomorrow, which is Tuesday, or I might not. If not, I would normally make another video on Wednesday, but Wednesday is my birthday and I'm feeling like an old man. I'm turning 23! 23! I know, everyone thinks I'm so much older. Everyone thinks I'm an old man. I'm old at heart, okay? I've got an old soul. Just bear with me. If there's no video out tomorrow, then there will most certainly be a video out on Thursday. Anyway, until then, be sure to let me know what you thought about any and all of the subjects we talked about in today's video. Also, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We just passed 9,000 subscribers. We're getting close to that 10k. I want to hit 10k by the end of this month. I'll be a very happy man. Can that please be my birthday present? Get me to 10k. Please share the videos around. Share my channel. Let's build a nice little community here. Let's hit 10k and beyond. Also, make sure to check out the links in my description down below, such as my Twitch, my Patreon, my Twitter, my Instagram, all the rest of it. Make sure you check all of that out. And until next time, everyone, my name is Rag Reynolds, and this was Medium Rare.